Hello guys, so this is my first video in this channel, and before starting I would just like to say that I'm really excited to start this channel and I hope you enjoy the content that I make. So let's get started without further ado. We all enjoy playing racing games and they have a special place in my heart. There is something about just driving a sports car which you have acquired after days of hardcore grinding. So I decided to make my own racing game. Now obviously I cannot make something like Asphalt 9s or Need for Speed. So I decided to make a racing game which has low poly art style and simpler controls. This makes the game feel like it's not something serious, but it is meant for a more casual audience who just want to have some fun. I did some more planning for the game and immediately start working. So the to-do list for this devlog is making a map, adding functionality to the car, the camera manager, and at last some sounds and other effects which the car needs. First thing I did was make a new Unity project, and then I immediately opened Blender and started working on the map for the game. I was thinking of making a map that first map should be the desert racetrack. The reason for this is that I do not have to add much detail in a desert to make it look super cool. First thing I did was make a simple plain road. Now I obviously added some road stripes to make it look more like a road, but who would want to drive in a boring straight road? So I added some curves to make it more realistic. As you can see, the road is completed, but something is missing. Wait, where's the desert? Lol. So I started working on the desert, but I realized it would be a waste of processing power of your mobile phone to render far distances of useless desert. So I made a desert valley so you won't be able to see that there's nothing actually beyond this. Saves me a lot of time since I do not have to work on making the actual desert at all. I can just cover the whole map in this desert valley. After an hour, I ended up with this map, but it still looks like a little empty, so I decided to add some details into the map. So I made a low poly cactus, but adding cactuses all over the map by hand would be a very tedious task and would take up a lot of my time. So I simply googled for a quick solution and stumbled on Blender's particle system. And using that, I can do this. Really cool, right? Great, now our first map is completed. I'll be adding more maps to the game, but for now this map is enough. Now it was time to add the most important thing in a racing game, which is the car itself. So I did to import a car from Unity's asset store and begin working on the car controller. I found this awesome car controller tutorial on YouTube by Axiomatic Uncertainty. I suggest you check out his channel as he makes very good tutorials. So the way the car works is that we have four wheel colliders, we reference them, and whenever the player presses the accelerate button, we would accelerate the car by looping through all the wheel colliders and setting their motor torque, like this. Here, torque is an integer which basically sets the force of the car, so how much force should be applied when the user accelerates the car. Great. So now you can see that our car can go forward and backward. But what about steering? Like, I mean, left and right. For that, we need to reference only the front wheels and loop through them, setting their steer angle like this. Great. Now our car can move properly. But there are still some problems. Like when I move the car, the tire of the car does not rotate. This is because in real life, the rotating tire generates force for the car to move. But here we apply force out of nowhere. But we still would like the tires to rotate. So what we do is loop again through the tire meshes and rotate the tire depending on the velocity of the car. Camera. So our car works very well for now, but the camera does not follow the car. We will need to make the camera follow our car. So for that, let's make a new script called Camera Manager. Inside the Camera Manager, we reference the player as target and set the camera's position using lerp. If you do not know what lerp is, let me explain. lerp stands for linear interpolation and can be defined as a mathematical function in that returns a value between two others at a point on a linear scale. For example, take 2 points, one here and one here. Now what lerp does is make an imaginary line between the points, and you can find a point some fraction of the way along a line between two endpoints. So let's say I want to find a midpoint of these 2 points. Then I just have to write the third parameter as 0.5, and that would give me the location of the midpoint. Usually we use lerp to move an object gradually between the points. And we just need to make sure that we are looking at our car, the camera is looking at the car by using transform.lookAt function. So far so great. Now we can work on sounds for the game. Currently there are no sounds in the game, so it feels a little dull. But then I quickly imported my sound manager from GitHub. Then I took the sounds that came with the car asset and implemented those sounds in the game. And here's how it looks right now. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and sorry if I made any mistakes, as this was my first devlog on the channel, and I will try to make part 2 as soon as possible. Please share, like and subscribe my channel, and comment down any feedback or features you want to see in this game. See you later.